We've waited all winter for this, and it's finally here. We made the best of the slow season and even caught some fish. But after months of cold and ice and snow, throwing mostly nymphs and squirmy wormies, the thought of a dry fly hatch is enough to make me giddy. The first big hatch around here is the Hendrickson hatch, and the fly shops are reporting that the hatch has started. We took our time in the morning, hoping that some daylight would warm the rivers back up after last night's frost. The water was still pretty cold when we were finally ready to fish, and we didn't see anything hatching yet, so with my dry fly set up on shore and at the ready in case I started to see bugs, I passed the time practicing my spey casting and swinging soft tackles. I'm very new to spey fishing, or two-handed fly fishing. I just got my first spey rod a few months ago for Christmas. That wasn't good. Shh, don't look at that one. I still have a lot to learn, but I'm already having fun with it. Uh-oh. I got a leaky wader. One of my feet is wet right now. So I'm gonna see how bad my waders are leaking. There's a big old tear in my waders. Good. Only a few minutes later, the bugs started hatching, so me and my leaky waders switched rods and started dry fly fishing. This looks pretty good. His lane, drag free. Nope. Bug. Fish is rising aggressively, and I don't know what he's eating. Alright, here we go. While I was struggling to dial in the hatch, Will was busy catching fish. Holy waders.
The holy waders.
It's a big fish, babe. We fished a little while longer, but eventually the cold water in my waders just got to be a little bit too much for me, and we called it a day. When we woke up on day 2, I was determined to catch a fish. Today was my last chance. I'm saving my vacation time from work for a week-long fishing trip next month, so this trip is just for a weekend. Before fishing, we did make a quick stop at the fly shop so I could get a new pair of waders. When we got to the river, I didn't waste any time. But even after several hours of throwing flies that looked very close to what was hatching,
It's pretty darn close.
I was still skunked. The hatch was good, but after seeing only 1 or 2 rising fish, we decided to make a move.
Are we done? Finally! How hard did I work for this one bite? Got one! Nice.
Way to go, Hale!
Thanks, Dad.
I think I wanted that fish more than Haley. Seriously.
Everything else except
Me too. I was just, if that one had made it through, I was going to say we got to go to a third fly because that was like the third time you showed him that.
We tried sticking around for a spinner fall, but it never really came together. The next morning, before we all hit the road to go home, we did run through our setups.
So, Dad, what you got for a setup going on?
All right, so we're dealing with a lot of distance and wind this week, so we're throwing a 9-foot 6-weight Douglas Sky, and I have a Sage Spectrum Max reel on there, 6-7 size. It's a wolf triangle taper, floating fly line, ivory color, and I've got a 9-foot 4X tapered leader off of that. And I cut about 20 inches or so of that tippet off of that leader and put my own fluorocarbon 4X tippet on there for these size 14 bugs in this flow. And that's pretty much the setup.
Alright, what you got for a setup, Will?
So I'm using the 9-foot 6-weight Fenwick ATOS. It's a fast action rod for the wind that we've been having lately. The reel is a Lamson liquid. It's the 5+-. I'm using Amplitude Infinity fly line. It's a 6-weight fly line. I'm using a 17-foot leader. And Haley, what was your setup?
So this weekend I was throwing my 9-foot 6-weight Sage XP. And I have my Lamson Guru reel on here. The line is Scientific Angler's Steelhead Taper in a 6-weight weight forward floating line. For a tippet, I have a 12-foot 5X tapered leader, and I cut probably the first foot or two off, and then I run about 4 feet of 5X fluorocarbon. What was I using? I was using Cortland Top Secret fluorocarbon tippet off of that tapered leader.
What were your hot flies this week?
The best flies. were Hendricksons, of course. That's what the predominant bug is. Hendrickson emergers in particular, very early in the hatch. As water's cold, they definitely, year after year, when it's early in the hatch, they prefer the emergers. So there's like a clink hammer style parachute emerger. And then also, as far as going into the duns, again, staying with a trailing shuck, it's an emerger style comparadun. Well, that one's got a little bit heavy of a shuck on there. I prefer a little sparser shuck than that. So again, it's an emerger style fly. It's got a trailing shuck. CDC emerging wing.
Nice.
That was the best fly. That was the most productive fly.
Yep. All right, what was your hot fly of the weekend?
This is a deer hair emerger, light Hendrickson.
Nice. And my hot fly of the weekend was a CDC emerger. I will leave you guys here until next time. Tight lines, guys.
It's time for entomology class with Dad.
What do we got? Ah, yeah, that's a little mahogany.
I still couldn't believe it caught that fish on a 8-foot 3-weight with a squirmy worm. They rub all my flies down with carbide.
Any pro tips from you, Dad?
Those surf rods at the tackle shop downtown there. I think if I had it to do over again, I'd go down and get one of those surf rods and maybe a sand spike and just throw something out there with a big hunk of, I don't know, maybe a bagel or something, you know, and sit back in a lawn chair, you know, and just let whatever happens, happens. I mean, I think we're working way too hard.
Speaking about throwing bagels, that's a popular carp tactic, and I've heard you're the master of carp now.
Well, yeah, but if you're going to catch carp, you got to catch them. The way I catch them is I snag them in the dorsal fin by mistake. If anybody needs any advice on snagging carp, let me know.
I don't have any advice on snagging carp. Line. Hold on, cut it. Learn that you should know what your setup is before being filmed.
That's a good one.
Oh, feeding line.
That's awesome.
Did you get me scooping them and losing them? Yep. Don't put that in. Don't put that on YouTube. Makes me look like a Googan. Hey Haley, how's the water?
Not quite swimming weather yet.
That was fun.